Hello and welcome to the GitLabGo bite-sized tutorials for all things GitLab. In this video, we'll be having a look at SAML SSO for groups. This feature is for the SaaS version of GitLab, and there is a separate instance-wide SAML offering for self-managed instances of GitLab, which I'll talk about in a separate video. SAML SSO for groups allows users to sign into GitLab.com using their SAML identity provider. If the user is not already a member, the sign-in process automatically adds the user to the appropriate group. This user synchronization is supported through SCIM, or the System for Cross-Domain Identity Management. SAML SSO can only be configured at the top-level group and so can't be used for subgroups, but you are able to configure group sync at subgroup level. Group sync is something that I cover in a separate video, so make sure to check that one out. You can enable SAML SSO by opening up the specific group. So head to Menu, Groups, and choose your group. In this instance, we'll choose the CV Cloud Demo group. Once that's open, on the left-hand sidebar, choose Settings and then SAML SSO. Here, you can follow the instructions to configure your SAML provider by providing things such as the assertion consumer service URL and the identifier. Within the configuration section, you can enable SAML authentication for the group simply by checking the box, but also just below that, you can enforce SSO-only authentication for the group. GitLab.com uses the SAML name ID to identify users. The name ID element is a required field in the SAML response. It must be unique to each user. It must be a persistent value that never changes, such as a randomly generated unique user ID. It is case sensitive, and it should not be the user's email address or username. This is simply to guard against the possibility of these things changing in the future, such as a user changing their name and updating their email address to match. GitLab also provides metadata XML that can be used to configure your identity provider. Simply copy the URL provided in this section, follow your identity provider's documentation, and paste in the URL when requested to do so. And that's it for SAML SSO for now, but there's still a lot of information on this extremely useful feature that I've not had time to cover. So to get this information, head over to the GitLab Docs website or ask an expert here at GitLabGo.